Hey guys, and welcome to Invest with Will West. Have you been taking investing advice from Reddit? If so, there are a few important things you have to consider. If it's your first time here and if you want to learn new investing related stuff, ideas, and lesser known tips, make sure to tap that subscribe button and the bell so you don't miss anything important. Today we will be looking at what investing on Reddit has become during these insane market fluctuations for the past month. The investing subreddit has gotten way more vocal about their opinions and ideas on where the market is heading. Should you be taking advice you read on this subreddit? Let's find out. Here's what user Charge Your Phone has to say about the current situation. Attention newcomers! Not all the advice you get in here will be good advice. Keep your thoughts based on logic and don't get caught up in irrational exuberance because some Dragon Lord 123 is excited. I may get a truckload of downvotes for this, but I really think this is important to acknowledge. The sheer amount of terrible advice and lack of knowledge in this sub is astounding. Sure, a lot of you are very knowledgeable and make great contributions, but for every one of these people it seems that there are 3 that have no idea, and unfortunately those 3 usually shout the loudest. It's dangerous for people new to investing that are reading these threads. I'm no expert, I don't claim to be an expert, and I freely admit that there's a lot that I don't know. Yet, I can confidently say that a lot of people in here either don't know or understand basic finance and economics, or perhaps even worse, do know better but completely ignore their knowledge. Now, I'm not here to tell you to think either which way. I'm a staunch advocate for people making decisions based on logic, facts, and reality. I'm not fussed about what your opinion is, as long as it's based on reality. So please, if you are a newcomer jumping into equities markets because of recent all-time highs, where valuations are skyrocketing all over the place, don't make any big financial decisions based on what Dragon Lord 123 says in a Reddit thread. You need to look beyond the flashing numbers on the screen and decide if those numbers are justified. I think it's absolutely no coincidence that so many finance experts seem to appear while markets are at a record highs, and there are eye-watering valuations across equities markets. A whole host of people here have just received their fresh finance degree from morning's cereal box. After looking at stock tickers for 2 weeks and nothing else, they've decided now it's the best possible time you can buy into equities, and they are ready to advise others. Buy high, sell low, right? Everyone's man, their dog and their grandma is piling into equities markets over the past month, just because prices have rocketed. Spoiler alert, that's a great piece of evidence that perhaps now, more than ever, you should think about what you're doing before you do it, and maybe get some real advice. When the shoeshiner is giving you stock tips, take a step back and consider the scenario. Now, some other Redditors have made some few interesting comments regarding this matter as well. Burning Orange Heaven says, people need to remember that anyone online could just be a 12-year-old. Hopefully I don't sound like that. A Redditor investor of 20 years under the name of Innocentius Lacrimosa says the following. It is probably not incorrect to say that most regular people that join markets during the late rallies and experience the downturn after they sell everything they have during the downturn and either never return to the market or only return during the next well-established rally, and the cycle seems to just repeat. In this Morningstar study, it shows that investors receive up to 6% less than the mutual funds they invested in due to their own churn decisions and bad timing. The great mystery of investing is that it seems hard for people to find out the right times to buy and sell, but yet they very consistently find out exactly the wrong times to do that. Another Redditor, Die For My Tigers, has a similar view. He says that our investing has thrown out its own advice out of the window and is behaving incredibly irrational right now. He says that I have browsed this sub for a better part of the last decade and picked up a lot of useful tips and information. The last few weeks it seems like it has become the norm to toss out the best practices of investing out of the window. I learned the following on here. You cannot time the markets. It is impossible. The market is irrational. Keep your money and keep investing. Time is your friend. The market will go up over long periods of time. And now in 2020 I'm seeing the following advice being pushed. I know better than the markets. The markets will drop. I surely can time this. It's not that me that's wrong, it's the market. The market is not responding correctly to bad news. I'm even seeing people here overemphasize negative news stories about the economy. It seems there is a growing resentment from people holding cash that may have missed catching a falling knife, which we always knew to be incredibly difficult. The fact of the matter is, we don't know how the market will behave. For us, average investors, it is best to keep putting money in and holding, or dollar cost averaging. Ignore everything else. And what's interesting that during times like these, even the most seasoned buy and hold investors seem to feel a strong urge to take action. Another Redditor says this, for example: "From a personal perspective, it is just so hard not to do it when the stakes are so high. In normal times when the market is either rising or falling very small amount every day, buy and hold is easy because the end result of my decision is just not that big of a deal. But with markets being so volatile and the economy in truly uncharted territory, the risk-reward of action or inaction becomes an order of magnitude larger. I've been a buy, hold and forget about it investor my entire life, but I've admittedly been watching the markets like a hawk for the past 2 months, trying to fight against my impulse to take serious action." OutdoorJimmyRustle chimes in: "A common mistake people are making right now is to assume that this time it is different. That kind of thinking is the #1 enemy for a long-term investor. People said it in '87, dot-com bubble, 9/11 and 2008 crash. Every significant market crash or decline has unique characteristics. At the same time, we always recovered eventually and usually rather quickly." Scycon has the following to say: "The time-tested strategy of investing a little bit of every paycheck for your entire career into diversified assets isn't interesting to talk about. There are plenty of us who have literally done nothing different except maybe reallocating once since this all started. There's nothing else to say, really. We just sit back and watch the influx of others gamble their wealth during this event. Some will get rich overnight, some will lose everything, and some will plug away and continue to accumulate wealth slowly in the future. It's the same as every economic event in history." I also like the comment of DVD Movie 1. "I saw discussions when the market started heading lower about how stupid buy and hold is and how wrong the never timing the market discussions were. At the lows in March, this sub was talking about how the world was ending and how anyone who was optimistic or buying was basically a moron and how markets are going lower. A couple of weeks later, constant pointless nonsense about whether it was a bull trap or not. A degeneration about what to buy? Not really, instead thread after thread of, is this a bull trap? People complaining about the Fed, which, first of all, is a waste of time and secondly provides absolutely nothing useful. Okay, you're all upset about the Fed, how are you going to invest? If you're not going to invest, then what are you doing here? A Fed member is not going to come here and go, oh, user 42069 loves weed, is upset about what we are doing and would prefer if we would let everything crater so that they can be right about their negative view. Let's stop everything. I'm still seeing people who are genuinely and bizarrely upset when optimistic things are mentioned, although it has started to come down a little. And remember, when this sub is very pessimistic like in mid-March, it's time to buy. When this sub gets much less pessimistic, then it's time to get concerned. It's not me that's wrong, it's the market. Started to see the market isn't doing what I think it should a lot in 2019. More of it during this, and I'm sure it will be common refrain on here for a while. Well, that's about it guys from our latest Reddit's R investing coverage. If there are any more interesting posts in the future, I will make sure to cover them as well. To me it seems that sometimes the general consensus that is seen on online investing forums seems to be some sort of a counter-indicator almost. If everyone is pessimistic, then it means they have sold already, so further drop is less likely. And vice versa, when everyone starts to get bullish, to me it looks like bulls have already bought and it's time to look for an exit. And what about you guys? Do you believe that this time it's different in 2020 or not really? Please let me know in the comments and also let me know why you think so. And thank you for watching, and until next time. This has been Storytime with Will West.